Hey folks, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to play Total War Warhammer 3. This is a game that you won't have seen me play before because, well, and there's like loads of people who do this game basically. It's a really popular game. This is by far the most kind of popular game that you will ever catch me playing. Now, I like this a lot. I've got more hours in this series than pretty much anything else, apart from maybe Dominions, but yeah, but I've played this a lot and I've got to tell you, I'm not that good at it still. So I'm just doing this for fun. I really just wanted to record some content of me playing this. One of the reasons is that whenever I play a campaign in Total War Warhammer, I rarely finish it. I find them kind of difficult to finish. That's partly because I think the games, they are more interesting in the beginning and the middle of the campaign than they tend to be at the end. It just depends on the campaign. Just a quick word about the game itself. Immortal Empires is the kind of combined campaign for all three games. It's the big map. Let's go to change race. I'm going to play Warriors of Chaos, by the way. But it's this massive map. It's absolutely huge, and they've amalgamated all the content for all three games. I've got all the DLC. I've been playing this right from the release of Warhammer, Total War Warhammer, the very first one, which was no way as good as this. This game, like it was kind of good, but it had problems. It wasn't a great game. It was a good game, whereas Warhammer 2 was a great game, and Warhammer 3 started out a little rough, but it's really good now. I think this is kind of finally in the place where I can recommend this as as a really good game, even if you're not a Warhammer fan like I am. I've been playing kind of Warhammer stuff on and off since I was 9 years old. I was hanging out in games workshops, in the local games workshop in Derby in the United Kingdom. Back in 1989 I would have gone in there for the first time, so when I was about 10 years old, maybe it might have even been a little bit earlier, when I started getting into Warhammer. And back in the old days when the place was full of bikers smoking weed out the back and playing Slayer in the like Slayer and other heavy metal bands, and thrash metal bands blasting out, dudes in leather jackets and kind of massive beards before it went all corporate about 4 or 5 years later. Games Workshop was cool back in the day. It was really cool, and they put it with little kids like me hanging out, and they were nice to us as well. Anyway, yeah. But like Games Workshop's changed. I wouldn't bother playing the tabletop game now. It's too expensive, and I think it's not what it was. However, this is a really good game, and this is kind of like, look at this. It's just got the most amazing production values, and this is like a AAA game, AAA strategy game. It's so good. Anyway, I'm going to play Warriors of Chaos. I think I'm going to play Archaon's campaign. This is quite an easy campaign, so I'm going to be putting it on hard. I'm just going to turn off the time range for the Ultimate Crisis. I have played this game a lot, but like I say, I'm not that good. And the reason why I'm not very good, and it's strange, right? I am good at strategy games. Like I'm going to blow my own trumpet. I am pretty good at strategy games, generally speaking. Especially when I'm not recording them, when I get a chance to kind of really focus, like I can really, get into the weeds, learn the game mechanics. I'm a bit more into min-maxing when I'm not recording. But this is one game that it's pretty damn complicated. It's not as complex as something like Shadow Empire, by any stretch of the imagination. The core game is, relatively easy to understand. The thing that makes this game difficult for me is there's just a few things. One is the way that campaign movement works, which just catches me out all the time, and I kind of hate it. I think it's really glitchy, buggy, just not very clearly defined, when you can move a certain amount. Sometimes, it says you can move this amount and then you can't. Sometimes stuff looks like it's out of range, but it can just catch you anyway. It's a bit confusing and annoying. However, other than that one bugbear I've got, I really do love this game. And I've realised I tend to play it on hard. I've completed Archaon's campaign on normal. This is a really easy campaign, but I think putting it on hard and playing it on YouTube, where I can't save scum, is going to make it a little bit more difficult. And, if I lose any battles, I'll just go with it, So yeah, this guy is Archaon the Ever-Chosen. He's been picked by the Chaos Gods in some arcane way to basically bring the end of the world. You are bringing the end times, and yeah, his campaign mechanics are interesting. I'm not going to go through all this stuff. If you really want to get into the, really deep into the individual campaign mechanics of all these guys, if you go and watch one of the other kind of popular Total War channels like Legend of Total War, or I don't know, Lawmaster of Sotek or Great Book of Grudges or one of these guys, they'll be able to take you through all of these stuff and tell you exactly what it all does. The TLDR of Archaon's campaign is that you kind of want to defeat other chaotic factions quite quickly, and the more of those you've got vassalized, the more your research and the more the research rate goes up, the easier it is to kind of vassalize other factions. And then you get more souls, and souls is a mechanic that, for the Warriors of Chaos, that is kind of used to drive their part of their economy. They've got this soul economy where you can use it you can spend it on these bonuses you get from the Chaos Gods. Okay, you get a pretty interesting starting army with Archaon as well, and the nice thing about him is you can actually confederate the other Chaos Lords. So if you actually go and hunt them down, you can go and find Kolek or Valkyr or Azazel, Festus, etc. Be'lakor. I think only Be'lakor and Archaon have this ability. But yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play as Archaon. I just think this is going to be a fun campaign for us. Okay, you've seen the campaign settings. I'm just going to leave it pretty much as it is. Yeah, I'm going to trigger the end game crisis on Long Victory. I don't know if I'll make it that far. I'm not going to promise to finish this campaign, by the way, guys. It's just going to be something that I'm going to play as and when I've got time. My focus is stuff like Shadow Empire, you know, Conquest of Elysium. But I'd like to play this. It's like I've been wanting to play this on stream for ages, and what puts me off partly is because I'm not that good. Like anybody who knows this game really well and watches me might find it a little frustrating because I'm not going to be playing optimally. Okay, so this is kind of like a bit of a gift to my regular fans, you know, just to see me play something that's a little bit more mainstream. And I will be pausing it, you know, during battles occasionally. I try not to, but I'm not really an RTS player, and I think this game is one of those where if you're not as quick on the, you know, you're not a South Korean on amphetamines, basically. You know, the classic StarCraft 2 player. Yeah, you're probably going to appreciate being able to pause it because there's a lot going on, and there's so many, you know, Total War's got this kind of rock paper scissors thing going on. But like, there's loads of it. It's not just the, you know, the armor-piercing weapons versus armor, or, you know, spears versus anti-large versus large. There's loads of other bits and pieces going on in the background. Okay, let's see what Archaon's got to say for himself.
It is time. We march south. Let the quivering fools know we come to tear down their nation, slay their kings, and ravage their mortal remains.
Yeah, I think Archaon needs a Valium. So, okay, this tells you how they play. We collect souls. This gives us our soul economy. You get them from battles, looting, sacking and raising settlements, other bits and pieces, certain events, and then you can spend them on these gifts of chaos. We can erect dark fortresses. So, back in Warhammer 1 and 2, Warriors of Chaos were awful. Really, they had this horde mechanic, but they weren't very fun. I actually completed a campaign with Sigvald, I think. Or it might have been Archaon in Warhammer 1, and it was a bit of a slog, I got to tell you. So they get these dark fortresses now that you can actually use. You capture them, you build them up, and they actually have a proper building faction tree, like the other faction building tree, just like the other factions do. But you can take any settlement, but most of them aren't that much good to you. So usually what you do is you raise them, and then you harvest the souls, or you give them to one of your vassals. Okay. They've got like an instant summoning ability where they can grab these warband units. The way that they kind of generate units is a little bit different to everyone else. They don't have to recruit them; they just kind of instantly join. You can upgrade them with this Dark Authority thing. We'll have a look at that in a bit. And then we've also got the Paths to Glory, so you can devote your leaders. So we'll just have a quick look at that. Here's Prince Ograx, and here is Archaon the Everchosen. Prince Ograx is a hero, and this is the Path to Glory. So basically, different kinds of heroes can get different sorts of devotions. The Exalted hero can devote to Khorne or to Nurgle, and once you hit rank 5, they've also got these other boons of chaos thing that you can kind of unlock, and then you can select them, and it gives them a certain extra bonuses that kind of go on top of this skill tree. I really do like this game. I think it's really interesting in how you can build all your characters. You know, you can make characters kind of like more to do with support abilities, or you can, you know, make them decent in combat in various ways. Archaon's kind of an interesting character. He's very, very strong. He's definitely one of the strongest legendary lords in the game, I think, at least in my limited experience. With limited ability to accurately figure out who's really strong and who's not. He's got really good stats from the start. He starts with magical attacks and flaming attacks. Also, he's got armor piercing damage. He's heavily armored. He's got a silver shield, which is a good shield. Yeah, he's just really good. He's a magic user, and yeah, and he's also decent in combat. So, and he's got some good items that you can get later on as well. Where do we see his items? Here we go, in the quests. So yeah, he's got a whole bunch of items that you can unlock at various points, and it just gives you a whole bunch of bonuses. Okay, so we start at the top of the map, and we are in the Blood Marshes. Is that right? Yeah, we're in the Blood Marshes. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go and try and we're going to defeat this Slaanesh army. They're going to have a bunch of demonettes, and yeah, this guy is doing his best Doug Bradley from Hellraiser impression, Pinhead impression. So yeah, this army's got a bunch of demonettes in and some marauders of Slaanesh, and we need to beat them quite convincingly, because we need to then go onto the Writhing Fortress and take that in a battle, and it's going to be a settlement battle. It's actually quite a fun battle. I think the settlement battles are better in this game. There's some people still don't like them. I think they're okay. I never really minded the sieges, to be honest. I think if you're one of those players who plays it all the time, it probably got a bit boring, but I'm cool. Okay, we're going to put this hero into our army, and this, yeah, we just get 50 experience points to turn to units serving in the parent army. More to the point, though, this guy's going to join in the battle, and what we can do, this general here is a exalted keeper of secrets, and it's a really, really strong character. And this isn't a difficult battle, but I have got it on hard difficulty, so it's a little bit more difficult. I don't play it on very hard. I find very hard just a bit. It's just not fun for me. I think certain difficulty settings are better for certain characters, by the way. I think Archaon, you probably want to play it on the more difficult settings, maybe, if you're a good player. But I just want this to be fun, and because I usually save scum my way through this game, I've got to be honest. Especially stuff like, you know, the kind of really janky movement mechanics that the army seem to have. I save scum the hell out of it to kind of like figure it out, but I think this is going to be good because it's kind of going to force me to really just put up with any bad decisions that I make. Okay. So what do we want to do? I think that we've got 1,000 souls. I think it might be good. Okay, we need to control a settlement before we can activate any Gifts of Chaos. So, but we will recruit some more units, I think, and we might upgrade some stuff. So, what have we got access to? We've got access to some Chaos Warhounds and some Marauders, and you'll see that there's a percentage chance here by each one, and this is the percentage chance that this roster will be refilled. So, we've currently got one Chaos Marauder in out of a total of one, and every turn we'll get there's a 22% chance for another one to generate, and yeah, you want to increase your chaos corruption. There's various things that kind of go into deciding whether, you know, how that chances, you know, goes up. But yeah, it basically gives the chaos warriors of chaos the ability to actually very, very quickly replenish losses. I'm actually going to get these units right from the start. So we've got a bit of front line of marauders. These guys have got shields, which is kind of a useful thing. They're not bad in combat. They don't have any armor though, so they die quite easily. Everybody in my army, by the way, gets a ward save. Yeah, let's just have a quick look at Archaon, and then we can just go through what some of the stuff he has. Okay, so he's got a bunch of spells. He's got Searing Doom, he's got Spirit Leech. This is from Law of Metal and Law of Death, respectively. And let's see what we got. He's got Frenzy as well, so that's a pretty good ability. It just means that he gets increased combat ability, basically, while his leadership is high. He's also immune to psychology. Now, he gives his... Look, the battle effects, right, are that the Lord's Army... Units gain plus 3% weapon and missile strength per rank achieved. So, you really want to kind of, like, build your troops up to, you know, higher and higher ranks, because Archaon just makes them even stronger, like, you know, because of their level. And also, he gives them a 5% ward save, which is not insignificant. So, that's a 5% chance just to avoid any damage taken. The ward save's really good, and especially when you start getting to the higher levels, like 15-20%, it just basically makes stuff really, really hard to, you know, your character's really hard to kill. On Archaon, he's already got physical resistance 10%, and that means with the ward save, unless he's being hit with magical attacks, he's actually got a 15% chance. I think that's how it works. I don't think it makes separate rolls for each. I think it just treats ward save and physical resistance and stacks it. I might be wrong there. Also, all authority is +1, so and we undivided authority +3. Okay, so this is kind of a mechanic that they brought in recently, where the 4 different chaos gods have got these authority skills. Each army's lord and heroes, this army's lord and heroes each contribute to a combined authority score. A positive score makes Slanesh dedicated units cheaper and improves replenishment, while a negative score has the opposite effect. So Archaon's big thing really is that he's not dedicated to any one god. So the Undivided, which is the kind of base level, you know, none of the 4 great power pantheon gods, you know, they're just sort of standard vanilla warriors of chaos units. They're very, very cheap, you know, in upkeep for Archaon, and they're kind of cheap to get, and they're easy to get. But let's go to these dudes here, these marauders. All of these units you can actually dedicate to the chaos powers. So if you want to get some Nurgle units or Slanesh units, if you want to get Slanesh units, you can kind of upgrade them in that way. It's really, really cool. You can then, you know, the Khorne units, like for example, we've got these Chaos Warriors of Khorne with halberds. We could actually switch those out for dual weapons if we wanted, make them a bit more killy in melee. You know, instead of being an anti-large unit, or we could give them a shield. Or eventually we can upgrade them to Chaos Knights or Chaos Knights of Khorne with lancers, all sorts of stuff. This is a really, really fun mechanic. I like this. This is something new. None of the other races really have this ability, so this is something specific to Warriors of Chaos. They just had a really big update, and the DLC that added this was a really, really good one. It's absolutely essential if you like the Chaos Forces. All right. So I think campaign-wise, what do we want to do? Well, we'll think about that once we've taken the Writhing Fortress, but we do need to take this. I think I will upgrade some of my units. Now, the Slanesh units are very, very killy, but they, you know, what do I mean by that? I mean that they do a lot of damage very, very fast. The thing is, they're quite squishy, so they won't really stand up against Khornate units. What they're good at is getting around the back of you and flanking, and a lot of their units have got this devastating flanker ability, which means that they double their charge bonus when attacking from the rear or the flank. But we've actually got more units than them, so this shouldn't be a big problem. So yeah, this should be a little bit of a ruffle stomp. The challenge is to do this battle without taking too many casualties. So here we go. Let's have a look at the technology tree. Okay, Archaon's got an interesting one. It starts in the middle. Look, Scrutiny of the Dark Gods. Okay, so this is our only option at the start. Unit experience gain 25% for Marauders, and 20 upgrades gift Raiders Remnant. Okay, so basically this makes Marauders just better, and you're going to be using a lot of Marauders at the start of the game until you upgrade them to Chaos Warriors. So that's it. We've recruited everything. Let's go into the battle. So you'll see we've got this guy's a spellcaster. He's got Laura Slanesh. Yeah, so he's got a kind of, it's an expanding tear-shaped attack, a wind, you know, like a wind spell, and then we've got melee defense minus 24, and speed minus 25% for acquiescence. That's basically it. He does cause terror. He's a really, really big, scary unit. Very, very high combat ability. You know, he's up there with Archaon. In fact, he's probably got actually higher melee. No, he's got less melee attack, but he has got magic attacks. All of these demons, the demon units, got magic attacks. So yeah, I kind of want to keep Archaon out of combat. He is really, really powerful, and he will take, you know, him and the Chaos Champ, the Exalted Hero between them would be able to take that demon down, I think. But anyway, let's figure out how we're going to do it. I'm pretty sure that most of the people who watch this channel will be familiar with Total War. You'll have either played it yourself, one of the historical games, or maybe these ones, the Warhammer ones, or you've watched other people who play them. But yeah, these are some of my favourite games. I find that I don't always have the patience to, you know, finish campaigns, but I do really, really like what I play. Okay, we're not going to risk the magic for favourable wins. This is basically just gives you a dice roll, and if you win, you get more power. You know, in your reserve. Let's start deployment. So we've got the Hellstriders. This is a cavalry unit, very fast with the devastating flanker ability, poison attacks. They're really, really dangerous if they get around the back. We've got Devoted Marauders of Slanesh with spears, so we want to keep our big units away from the spears. Then we've got the Demonettes of Slanesh in the middle. These are really, really good melee units, but they do have armor piercing. That's what's nice about these guys. Yeah, they've got 24 armor piercing damage, so we probably want to put those up against the Marauders, because the Marauder, I don't want the Chaos Warriors, the armored units, to be having that armor piercing damage. And what we'll do is we'll put the Chaos Warriors against these devoted Marauders who don't have so much armor piercing. In fact, they don't have armor piercing at all, or very little. So that's what we're going to do. We'll put the. I'm going to keep one unit of Marauders back, just as a reserve, and I'm going to get the Chaos Warriors, the Undivided Warriors, on this flank here, and these guys are going to go in and attack. We'll engage with these devoted Marauders of Slaanesh. Then we got some Warhounds. Now we could use the Warhounds to tie up the Hellstriders, but it'd be a bit of a sacrificial lamb in that respect. Yeah, we want to try and get. What you want to do in this game really is get units engaged and then get units around the back for the flanking. Flanking gets really, tons of damage. We do have these Knights of Zinch. These have got a barrier shield, which is what you got this blue bar here. They're really good in that respect. You can cycle charge them in and out, wait for their barrier to go down. They've taken enough damage that their barrier kind of drops down, and then you can bring them out again. And they look cool as well. Look at these. I just love the graphics in this game as well. Everything about it is just so cool, man. All right. We've got some Spawn and Nurgle. These are just going to chew through whatever they fight. What it might be an idea to do is just to overload this flank. So the Demonettes of Slaanesh, we want to try and limit them from doing damage. They don't have any armor, but they've got this damage dealer trait basically. Oh no, sorry, they don't have the damage dealer trait, but they're armor piercing. They do a lot of damage really quickly. They will die fairly fast. All right, and then we've got Archaon himself. We're going to use some magic. We've got Searing Doom, which is it drops metal basically. These big silver shards that drop down from the sky. It does armor piercing damage, if I remember right. Moderate magical damage actually, and it's got a medium strike area. And then we've got the Spirit Leech, which is good against like enemy heroes, so we might be able to use that on that Exalted Keeper of Secrets too. We'll keep the Halberd troops in reserve, and then we've got our own Hellstriders. So what I might do with these guys, let's see if we can get these round the back. I don't know if the AI is going to let me do that, but we'll see. Let's start the battle. Get these guys moving up, and let's just start playing with them. Yeah, they're just sitting on that hill. Now I am gonna soften up this flank. I want to get through this flank as fast as possible, because what we can do is we can fold this flank over really early. Oh, okay, he's dodged. Yeah, the AI is quite good at. Oh, he's coming in, backing into it. Yeah, that's because Archaon's not actually got there yet. Let's get these guys round. We'll just threaten their flank, and that drops their morale, by the way, when stuff's behind them. Yeah, they got an exposed flank penalty here. I'm tempted to get a preemptive charge in with the Knights of Zinch. Let's just see what we can do. I'm going to get these dogs on this side. Okay. Yeah, they've returned to their formation. That's fine. Okay, I'm going to get those guys around the back. I'm making a bit of a meal of this, by the way. This is not a particularly difficult battle. What I will... Okay, let's get these guys in. What I will say is that if you don't do it right, it can make the rest of the game a little bit more difficult later on. So you kind of want to... You don't want to mess up. Alright. Let's get Archaon to just... Like I said, I just want to kind of overload this flank. Look, these guys are chasing after me, look, because they can see what I'm going to try and do. So let's get these knights over this side, and then we're gonna sandwich them. Yeah, look at the AI. He's not quite sure what to do here. Okay, we're just gonna hit them really hard, and then the Chaos Warrior is gonna move in. Let's engage these Demonettes with the Marauders. Get these Chaos Warriors up. And we're gonna leave these dudes in. Okay, we've got these Demonettes coming in now. Let's move them back. Let's get these guys out. Interesting. Okay, we should have been able to get quite a lot of our troops out here. Now we get these demon. Now we don't want the Chaos Warriors to fight those demonettes, so let's just retreat those guys back a bit. Let's get these Hell Scourges around here. Okay. I'm just going to pause it a sec. Now, this is where I'm not very good at this game, so sometimes I have to take a little bit of a time out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get... Yeah, these guys have got this. I'm just going to bring these Warriors of Khorne with the halberds just here, because these Hellstriders are going to try and get around the back. I think I'm just going to put these Marauders here, and Archaon is just going to drop down a spell. Now these Chaos Warriors have engaged with these Demonettes. I am going to try and move them back. Get the we'll tie them up with these, and then we'll get these Marauders to move in. Now I'm going to set these dogs on this retreating unit here. That's what one of these dog units are really good for that. There we go. So we got this magic off, and I think I'm going to bring Archaon now in to engage with this Keeper of Secrets. Okay, let's get these Chaos Warriors in now. Alright, dogs, you can come back. Engage. Okay, the Hellstriders are going around that side. You guys can get around the back here. I think I'll get the dogs to take this charge. Yeah, I think that would be better than them going into the back of my other units. Okay, these Chaos Warriors are taking a massive amount of damage. This is why these Demonettes are really scary. Let's get this Searing Doom in. There we go, look. And those Demonettes are going to be crumbling after that. Let's get these Chaos Warriors into the back of these dudes. Oh, we got the Lash of Slanesh going off, look. Didn't do a whole lot of damage. Now, I don't want Archaon to take too much damage. Let's get these... I've taken a lot of damage to these Hellstriders, so I'm going to get them moving out while we got the option. Okay. There we go. Now, we don't want to bunch our units up too much. That's not a good thing to do. Yeah, these guys have got the flanking bonus in. Oh, we forgot about Chaos Knights. Let's just hit these. Actually, let's hit them from the front with the dogs, and then we're hitting them from the back with these guys. Same job here. Okay, now it's just the let's just get these guys in and try and take this Keeper of Secrets out. Keeper of Secrets is a really scary Greater Demon of Slanesh. But it's not good at staying in combat for a long time. Yeah, there we go. Look, it's starting to lose. As soon as he starts to lose, he starts to crumble. There we go. We've won this one. It's not too bad. We're not doing too bad. Lost some Marauders, but you know. This is the biggest casualty here, is this Chaos Warrior unit. We've lost quite a lot of troops here. There we go. And we killed him, look. Down he goes. He evaporates back into the void from whence he came. Okay, so that was our first battle. Dead easy. This is, you know, the first battle in a campaign of Total War Warhammer Immortal Empires is usually easy. Some of the legendary lords, I should say, which is kind of the name for the main generals that you play. Some of their starts quite hard. I can't remember which one. One of them has quite a difficult start, if I remember right. I can't remember who it was now. There was one I played recently. It might have been the Norscan lord, Wulfric the Wanderer. But yeah, some of them have basically a more difficult start, and it's kind of designed to, you know, for more challenge, you know, for players who are better at the game. Basically, Archaon is just really strong. So, okay, so we got a load of favor. Favor is basically what Chaos uses as money. Just favor is money, basically. And Archaon got a bunch of experience. I'm going to replenish the army here because we need to go straight on and fight a settlement battle immediately. Okay, Prince Ogrex has completed a challenge and has gained a boon of Chaos. So he's got the Mage Hunter boon. Let's just have a look at what that does. And we got the Swords of Chaos, the Chaos Knights, which is Archaon's. It's Archaon's like famous unit, basically. It's like his bodyguard, essentially. Let's have a look at Prince Ogrex, and yeah, he's got this Mage Hunter ability now. So you get spell resistance 15%, and you get Eldritch Aura passive ability, which gives him missile resistance 15% and spell resistance 15%. And this is something you can turn on, and it's enabled if the wind of the magic is a certain... It's high enough. Okay. Did he level up? Yes, he did. I think the first thing that we're going to do... Usually I would go for training early. But I think what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to give him Blade Master, because I need him to perform well in this coming battle. Archaon. You've got... The way that the level up works in this is interesting. You've got this blue... The blue kind of tier here, I guess, as you go further into blue, gives you different stuff. You start off with extra campaign movement range. This is a no-brainer to get at some point. And then you get... These are mostly economic things that you get. You know, stuff that kind of either gives you money or does things like decreases unrest or reduces time in sieges, that kind of stuff. You're sieging down an enemy. Then you've got this one, the red kind of line gives you upgrades to your troops. So, you know, like making your warriors stronger, more armor for demonic units, that kind of stuff. Then you've got the magic line, and you can unlock a load of spells for Archaon, which is good. And then you've got the yellow line, which is kind of combat stuff. And then he's got like he's got a bunch of unique stuff as well here, including, you know, the horse that he's got, Dorgar, which is his special mount, and a whole bunch of stuff. We'll have a look at those later. Ascension to Demonhood. Oh, you can actually make him a demon. I didn't realise that. That's cool. Yeah, and he's got quite a big skill tree. You've only got 50 skill points. Like, once you get to level 50, that's it. No, I think you can reset them once, if I remember right. Anyway, early game. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for... Yeah, I'm going to give him I'm going to get him summon the red line, because I'm going to use Archaon in every battle, pretty much. Well, every battle that... He's going to be my main army, that's what I'm trying to say. Okay, now, the Writhing Fortress, we want to take it in one turn, really. We should be able to take it in one turn. We've got stuff that can get through the walls. Now, we will take casualties doing this. Like, so the auto battle result is saying that it's going to be a Pyrrhic victory and we'll get medium casualties. So if you hold your mouse over this, it will tell you if you're going to lose any of these units, and we're not. So we could auto-resolve this, but I won't. I think it's going to be fun to fight it. Yeah, so those guys, they're going to have 1,000 defensive supply, so they can put up towers and that kind of thing. Yeah, I think we're just going to fight this one out. Anyway, folks, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play that in the next episode. So, yeah, this is the start of the campaign. I hope you enjoyed the series already. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you like me playing something like this? Like, I know it's a little bit different to the kind of like old school, complicated grognard strategy games that I play, but like I play this a lot, and I just thought, you know what? If I'm going to play this game, I might as well just record it as well, and then, you know, if people like it, they can watch it too. But I'm not going to, you know, add to the greater pool of Total War knowledge out there. I've got to be honest with you. I'm just not that good. So I'm just hoping that people will watch it and just find it fun watching Battle Mode play something a bit different. Okay, guys, I'll catch you next time. Take care.